Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivishakam Vitamscha Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyanajana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Gurava Bhistam Supurakam Guruganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindabhidam Ujjalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Varanam Balarka Chelan Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Mandetam Shubharam Maneka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shidaram Mansha Kopatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Adi-lila chapter 2, text number 53. Virad hiranya garbhascha karanam cheti upadaya ishasya tatribir hinam turiyam tat prachakshate. In the material world, the Lord is designated as Virat, Hiranyagarbha, and Karana. But beyond these three designations, the Lord is ultimately in the fourth dimension. Virat, the phenomenal manifestation of the Supreme Whole, Hiranyagarbha, the numinous soul of everything, and Karana, the cause or causal nature, are all but designations of the Purushas who are responsible for material creation. The transcendental position surpasses these designations and is therefore called the position of the fourth dimension. This is a quotation from Sridhar Swami's commentary on the 11th canto. Jajapi tiner maya loya vyavahar tatapi tat sparshanahi sabe maya par. Although these three features of the Lord deal directly with the material energy, none of them are touched by it. They are all beyond illusion. So, the Lord Himself, as we've always noted, is not directly involved with the material creation in the sense that He's, for instance, the Lord glances over the material nature. Sometimes it's said that Brahma is the creator, but Brahma is more accurately described as like an engineer. And the Lord, by glancing over the material nature, injects the living entities into that material nature. But at the same time, He is not touching Maya or not directly involved with the material creation. It is said that the Lord's glance comes out as Shambhu, as Shiva, and then the whole aspect of the generation of the material nature and the is affected by generation in the sense that Lord Shiva more or less gets the whole material creation moving. The Lord injects the living entities by His glance, and that glance comes out as Lord Shiva, and then everything begins occurring. The forms created by Brahma are then populated, so to speak, So the Lord is really the cause of everything, and we can say everything is his energy, whether it's internal energy or a marginal energy or material energy. It's all the energies of the Lord. But the Lord is not directly touching the material. He's not involved in that level of the material creation. Although it's also been noted that one of the purposes of the material creation is as a pastime of the Lord is actually rescuing and we can say bringing offering some opportunity through his expansions and agents, etc., to giving the jivas an opportunity to come out of, to have their consciousness changed and come back to the original situation. These are matters that one can understand. What is actually the unique way in which the Lord is simultaneously involved with, but not involved with the material creation. Etadi shanamishasya prakriti stopi tadgunai nayujate sadatmastar yata buddhis tadashraya. This is the opulence of the Lord, although situated in the material nature. He is never affected by the modes of nature. Similarly, those who have surrendered to him and fixed their intelligence upon him are not influenced by the modes of nature. Saitin janer tumi paramashray tumi mula narayana ite ki samshai. You are the ultimate shelter of these three plenary portions. Thus there is not the slightest doubt that you are the primeval Narayan. So this is all again referring to Lord Brahma addressing Krishna. And Krishna is a cowherd boy. This is after Krishna, Lord Brahma had tried to, we can say, he kidnapped both kids, who were the cowherd boys, but we could also say the calves. So we could say kidnapping and calf-napping were involved. And Lord Brahma took away the cowherd boys and also the calves and put them in a stage of yoga nidra. But the Lord just expanded himself as all those calves and cowherd boys that were taken, and the Lord continued with his pastimes. And when Brahma came back, he was bewildered by he was tricked by his own trick, so to speak. And then Lord Brahma, then from the calves and the cowherd boys who were still playing with Brahma, and he could not understand, he saw that a Vishnu form was was showing from all of them. Then he began to address this. You could say this Gopal Krishna. He began to address him that you are my father Narayan, and he's explaining this. And Krishna's response, of course, is that how can I be Brahma? How can I be your father? I'm just a boy. So here is a continuation of Brahma speaking. You are the ultimate shelter of these three plenary portions. Thus there is not the slightest doubt that you are the primeval Narayan. Saitinam Saitinyaramshi Paravyoma Narayan Teho Tomar Bilasa Tumi Mula Narayan. The source of these three features is the Narayan in the spiritual sky. He is your Vilas expansion. Therefore you are the ultimate Narayan. Ateva Brahma Bhakye Paravyoma Narayan Teho Krishnara Bilas E Tattva Vivaran. Therefore, according to the authority of Brahma, the Narayan, who is the predominating deity in the transcendental world, is but the Vilas feature of Krishna. This has now been conclusively proved. So, this is Brahma's conclusion after reflecting that he had committed, you could say, made some grievous mistake in trying to play some trick on Krishna. You know, he was thinking that and actually, as you like. Stay there. But you know, when you move that thing, then you're generating noise. You have to move it with. You have to move it without dragging the table. But be careful. Okay. A shloka tatvalakan bhagavat dashar paribhasha rupe ihar sarvatradikar. The truth indicated in this text, text 30, is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. This conclusion, through synonyms, applies everywhere. And I'll go back and read text 30, which is, again, referring to Lord Brahma's conclusion. After he understood something about Krishna's divine position. This is text 30. Narayanas tvam na isarvadehinam atmasi adi shakshila lokasakshin narayanongam narabhujalayanat tachapi satyam nat tabaiva maya. O Lord of Lords, you are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. Are you not therefore my father, Narayan? Narayan refers to one whose abode is in the water born from Nara, which is Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and that Narayan is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They are absolute and are not creations of Maya. So, subsequently, Mahaprabhu was explaining how Lord Brahma justified everything or stated everything to Krishna. Yes, you are the source of Narayan, and therefore you are my father. And then he says, therefore, according to the authority of Brahma, the Narayan, who is the predominating deity in the transcendental world, is but the vilas feature of Krishna. This has now been conclusively proved. A shloka tattva lakan bhagavatashar parivasa rupe ihar sarvatradikar. The truth indicated in this verse, which we read, text 30, is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. This conclusion through synonyms applies everywhere. Brahma Atma Bhagavan Krishnara Bihar E Arta Najani Murka Arta Koryar. Not knowing that Brahman, Paramatman, and Bhagavan are all features of Krishna, foolish scholars speculate in various ways. Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatar Teho Chatur Bhuja Iha Manusha Akar. Because Narayan has 4 hands, whereas Krishna looks just like a man, they say that Narayan is the original God, whereas Krishna is but an incarnation. Emate Nanarup Kore Purvapaka Tahare Nirjite Bhagavata Padyadakya. In this way, their arguments appear in various forms, but the poetry of the Bhagavatam expertly refutes them all. Vedanti tat tatvavidas tatvam yads gyanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabhyate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth say that it is non-dual knowledge and is called impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the personality of Godhead. Shunabai e shloka koraha bichar ek mukya tattva teen tahara prachar. My dear brothers, kindly listen to the explanation of this verse and consider its meaning. The one original entity is known in its three different features. So, we'll say, my dear brothers and sisters, kindly listen to the explanation of this verse and consider its meaning. The one original entity is known in its three different features. Various languages, when we refer to the plural, in many different languages, nouns are usually listed as masculine or feminine. And sometimes this also occurs in English. Certain nouns are given some gender just out of, you can say, just the usage of the language. But where I can only, conclude from knowing something of the Latin-based languages like Spanish, that when you use the plural for the, sons and daughters, you'll say hijos, although it may also refer to brothers and sisters. So here also it's translated, my dear brothers, but we'll say my dear brothers and sisters because we're referring to also those who are in our audience. So, my dear brothers and sisters, kindly listen to the explanation of this verse and consider its meaning. The one original entity is known in its three different features. Advaya Gyan Tattva Vastu Krishnara Swarup Brahma Atma Bhagavan Teen Tararup. Krishna himself is the one undivided absolute truth, the ultimate reality. He manifests himself in three features as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. A shloker arte tumi hoila nirbachan ara ek shuna bhagavater bachan. The import of this verse has stopped you from arguing. Now listen to another verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is... Previously, Krishnadas Kaviraj said, not knowing that Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan are all features of Krishna, foolish scholars speculate in various ways. And because Narayan has four hands, whereas Krishna just looks like a man, they say that Narayan is the original God, whereas Krishna is but an incarnation. In this way, their arguments appear in various forms, but the poetry of the Bhagavatam refutes them all. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth, that's the Vedanti Tat Tattva Vidas Tattvam Yadzganamadvaya verse. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth so say that it is non-dual knowledge and is called impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the personality of Godhead. So my dear brothers and sisters, kindly listen to the explanation of this verse and consider its meaning. The one original entity is known in its three different features. Lord, Advaya Gyan Tattva Vastu Krishnara Swarup Brahma Atma Bhagavan Teen Tararup. Lord Krishna himself is the one undivided absolute truth, the ultimate reality. He manifests himself in three features as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Eshloker arte tumi hoila nirbachan ara eksh shuna bhagavatera bachan. The import of this verse has stopped you from arguing. Now listen to another verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So among those who are listening, someone, foolish scholars among them, has argued, that Narayan is the supreme and Krishna is an incarnation. That's the point being brought here. The purport of this verse has stopped you from arguing Vedanti Tat Tattva Vidas. Now listen to another verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, a very famous verse. Ete chamsa kala pumsha Krishna stu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakalam lokam mridayanti yuge yuge. All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the Purusha avatars. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In every age, he protects the world through his different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. Enemies of India. Indra refers to those who are of the nature of asuras, demons. They're, that chronologically, or however you want to say it, they're those who are the asuras always have some argument with its demigods. So anyway, sab avatar kori samanya lakan taramanje Krishna chandra kori laganan. The Bhagavatam describes the symptoms and deeds of the incarnations in general and counts Sri Krishna among them. Tabeshu te gosai mani payat barabai jaraje lakan taha korila nischai. This made Sutta Goswami greatly apprehensive. Therefore, he distinguished each incarnation by its specific symptoms. Avatarasab Purushera Kala Amsha Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Sarva Avatamsha. Okay. All right. Thank you. So can you give me a phone call also?
I will.
All right, thank you.
462-0123. I call you there.
Pardon me?
462-0123.
Just broadcast my phone number to the whole world.
But I call you in your home, not your cell phone.
Yes. I don't know what to do, but huh?
I think you're okay.
Can you pause that?
It only has finish. We finish right here.
Yeah. Can we edit that?
It's live.
All right. So be it. Avatar Sab Purusher Kala Amsha Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Sarva Avatamsha. All these incarnations of Godhead are plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the Purusha avatars. But the primeval Lord is Sri Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the fountainhead of all incarnations. Okay. Purvapaka kohe tomar balo tabhyakyan paravyoma narayana swayam bhagavan. An opponent may say, this is your interpretation, but actually the Supreme Lord is Narayan, who is in the transcendental realm. Teho ashi Krishna rupe korana avatar ayarta shloki deki ki arabichar. He, Narayan, incarnates as Lord Krishna. This is the meaning of the verse as I see it. There is no need for further consideration. So someone's saying that, oh no, this verse actually establishes that Narayan is the original source and Krishna is an incarnation. That's referring to that verse, Ete chamsa kala pumsam Krishna stu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakalam loke mridiyante yuge yuge. So the continuation of that is that he, Narayan, because it's listing so many, then there's a list of avatars. He, Narayan, incarnates as Lord Krishna. This is the meaning of the verse. As I see it, there is no need for further consideration. Tariko he kenikora kutar kanuman shastra virudartha kabu nahoy praman. To such a misguided interpreter we may reply, why should you suggest such fallacious logic? An interpretation is never accepted as evidence if it opposes the principles of Scripture. Anuvadam anutvatu na videyam udirayat na I alabdas param kinchit kutrarchit pratitishtati. One should not state a predicate before its subject, for it cannot thus stand without proper support. And this is how Krishnadas Kaviraj is refuting this argument that from this verse we can conclude that erroneously that Krishna is an incarnation of Narayan, because he's listed, because the verse is saying, although the verse is saying, all these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the Purusha avatars, but Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In every age, he protects the world through his different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. But someone is arguing that actually this verse states that Krishna is one of the incarnations. And then here, Krishnadas Kaviraj has mentioned, one should not state a predicate before its subject, for it cannot thus stand without proper support. This rhetorical rule appears in the Ekadashi Tattva, 13th canto, in connection with the metaphorical use of words. An unknown object should not be put before the known subject, because the object has no meaning if the subject is not first given. Well, you can understand that through English also. Just like if I'm referring to a person, the fisherman goes out fishing every day, and he catches many fish, then everything is clear. But if I say he catches many fish, the fisherman goes out every day. Now that, putting the unknown, the he, first, you don't know if that refers to because of the object, the subject is stated afterwards. You don't know if that's he is referring to something besides the fisherman. You have to be very clear when you're using something that's unknown, like he or she. You have to, the person, especially if you have two nouns in the sentence, I'm just saying in English, you have to be able to know clearly who that unknown, is referring to, and that'll be explained here. Anuvadna kohiyana kohe videya age anuvad kohe paschad videya. If I do not state a subject, I do not state a predicate. First I speak the former, and then I speak the latter. Videya kohe tare je vastu agyata anuvad kohe tare je hoy gyata. The predicate of a sentence is what is unknown to the reader, whereas the object is what is known to him. Jaiche kohe vipra parama pandita vipra anuvad ihar videya panditya. For example, we may say, this Vipra is a greatly learned man. In this sentence, the Vipra is the subject, and the predicate is his erudition. Vipradva vidyatma tara panditya agyata ateva viprage panditya paschata. The man's being a Vipra is known, but his erudition is unknown. Therefore, the person is identified first and his erudition later. So that's the correct usage. Tajche iha avatar sab hoila gyata tara avatar e vastu avigyata. In the same way, all these incarnations were known, but whose incarnations they are In this same way, all these incarnations were known, but whose incarnations they are was unknown. Ete shabde avatarer age anuman purushera amshapache videya sambada. First, the word eti, these, establishes the subject, the incarnations. Then plenary portions of the Purusha avatars follows as the predicate. Taiche Krishna avatar bhitare hoila gyata tahara visesha jnana se avigyata. Thank you. Taiche Krishna avatar bhitare hoila gyata tahara visesha jnana se avigyata. In the same way, when Krishna was first counted among the incarnations, specific knowledge about him was still unknown. Ateva Krishna Shabda Age Anuvad Swayam Bhagavata Piche Videya Samvad. Therefore, first the word Krishna appears as the subject, followed by the predicate, describing him as the original personality of Godhead. Krishnara Swayam Bhagavata Iha Hoila Sadhya Swayam Bhagavaner Krishnatva Hoila Badya. This establishes that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. The original personality of Godhead is therefore necessarily Krishna. So that follows logically. Krishna, from the principles of, the construction of the subject and the predicate, that Krishna is the subject and the predicate is that he's the source of all incarnations. Krishna jari amsha hoite amshinarayan tabe viparita hoita sutrara vachana. Had Krishna been the plenary portion and Narayan the primeval Lord, the statement of Sutta Goswami would have been reversed. Narayanam Shri Jai Swayam Bhagavan Teho Shri Krishna Aiche Korita Vyakyan. Thus he would have said, Narayan, the source of all incarnations, is the original personality of Godhead. He has appeared as Sri Krishna. Brahma Pramad Vipralipsha Karanam. Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa Karana Patava Arsha Vigya Bhakya Nahi Dosha Esava. Mistakes, illusions, cheating, and defective perception do not occur in the sayings of the authoritative sages. So we've always heard that the scriptures in particular are not subject to the errors normally known as making mistakes when senses are fallible or are limited. We can say that the living entity makes mistakes, his senses are limited, he's an illusion, and he also has a cheating propensity. That occurs among, those mistakes occur among ordinary persons, but the scriptures are not subject to those mistakes. Otherwise, what's the purpose of the statements of the saints and the scriptures if they're subject to being wrong? But so here it's mentioned: mistakes, illusions, cheating, and defective perception do not occur in the sayings of the authoritative sages. Virudharta kohatumi kohite korarosh tomararte avimurishta videyam sadosh. You say something contradictory and become angry when this is pointed out. Your explanation has the defect of a misplaced object. This is an unconsidered adjustment. So don't argue something that's it's clearly stated that Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So don't try and reverse the sentence and say the incarnations that Krishna is, that the incarnations are the source of Krishna. That would be illogical, because that's not the way a sentence is. That's not the way a sentence or grammar, whether it's in any language, is constructed, especially in Bengali and, well, in this case it's Sanskrit, verses in Sanskrit. Jara Bhagavata hoite anyara Bhagavata Swayam Bhagavan Shabdir Tahate Sata. Only the personality of Godhead, the source of all other divinities, is eligible to be designated Swayam Bhagavan, or the primeval Lord. Deepa hoite jaiche bahu deepera jwalan mula ek deepataha koriye ganan. When from one candle many others are lit, I consider that one the original. Taiche sab avatare Krishna sekaran ara ek shloka shuna kabhyakya kandan. Krishna, in the same way, is the cause of all causes and all incarnations. Therefore, please hear another verse to defeat all misinterpretations. But really what's also Krishna Das Kaviraj is establishing that this all refers to Lord Chaitanya, as well as, not just Krishna, but Lord Chaitanya. Atra sargo visargascha stanam poshanam utaya manvantare shanu kata nirodo muktir ashraya dashamasya vishuddhi artam navanam iha lakshanam varnayanti mahatmana shrutenartena chanjasha. Here in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10 subjects are described. 1, the creation of the ingredients of the cosmos. 2, the creations of Brahma. 3, the maintenance of the creation. 4, special favor given to the faithful. 5, impetuses for activity. 6, prescribed duties for law-abiding persons. 7, a description of the incarnations of the Lord. 8, the winding up of the creation. 9, liberation from gross and subtle material existence. And 10, the ultimate shelter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The 10th item is the shelter of all the others. To distinguish the ultimate shelter from the other 9 subjects, the Mahajans have described these 9 directly or indirectly through prayers or direct explanation. So we can say the 10th feature of the Bhagavatam, given in the 10th canto. The Bhagavatam has 12 cantos, but they're establishing that Krishna is the summum bonum. Ashraya janite kohe enava padartha enaver utpati hetu se ashrayartha. To know distinctly the ultimate shelter of everything that be, I have described the other 9 categories. The cause for the appearance of these 9 is rightly called their shelter, or the ashray. Krishna eka sarvashray, Krishna sarvanam, Krishnara sharire sarva vishvara vishram. A personality of God as Sri Krishna is the shelter and abode of everything. All the universes rest in his body. Dashame dashamam laksham ashrita shraya vigraham Shri Krishnakyam param dhamma jagadhamma namami tat. The 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam reveals the 10th object, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the shelter of all surrendered souls. He is known as Sri Krishna, and he is the ultimate source of all the universes. Let me offer my obeisances unto him. Krishna Swarup ar Shakti Tra Gyan Jarahoy Taranahi Krishnete Agyan. One who knows the real feature of Sri Krishna and his 3 different energies cannot remain ignorant about him. Krishnara Swarup Oi Shadvida Bilas Prabhava Vaibhava Rupe Dvivida Prakash. The personality of God as Sri Krishna enjoys himself in 6 primary expansions. His 2 manifestations are called Prabhav and Vaibhav. Amsha Shaktavesh Rupe Dvi Vidavatar Bhaya Poganda Dharma Duita Prakar. His incarnations are of 2 kinds, namely partial and empowered. He appears in 2 ages, childhood and boyhood. Now, where all of this is going is, as Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj explains, that if we understand the background of something, how is this information being described? It's the word I'm trying to remember. My memory is sometimes failing me, but Guru Maharaj explains that the first 12 chapters of Adi-lila, they're giving us some understanding. I'm trying to remember the word. I use it so often, and now I can't remember it. It's they're establishing before going into the Leela, that you can understand who is Mahaprabhu, who's Nityananda Prabhu, who's Advaita Charya, who is Gadadhar Pandit. To understand all these different persons, then you can understand what's later happening and why they act as they do. So this is the information being developed here. Anyway, it'll occur to me later, and then I'll mention. Kishore Swarup Krishna Swayam Avatari Kridakori Echai Rupe Vishwabari. The personality of God is Sri Krishna, who is eternally an adolescent, is the primeval Lord, the source of all incarnations. He expands himself in these, the word is ontological. Srila Sridhar Maharaj explains that initially, we're in the early chapters of the Adi-lila, and we've heard about the initial Mangala Charan verses, which are now being explained. And we're giving some, and Krishnadas Kaviraj is giving some ontological background for all the different personalities and circumstances and actions that will later happen in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if you understand that Mahaprabhu is Krishna, and who is Krishna, what that infers about Mahaprabhu, then you can understand his actions. Because Mahaprabhu, as it's developed and shown in Srila Sridhar Maharaj's Prapana Jivanamrita, Mahaprabhu, established himself. He's Krishna, but he's covered with the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani, the Bhava Kanti. Bhava is the emotions, the sentiment of Srimati Radharani, and Kanti is her luster and her, effulgence, color. So, although he's internally Krishna, because he's covered with Radharani's mood and also her luster, then he doesn't show himself by his actions as the actions of the Lord. And when he speaks, you can see that, because in his Sikshastak he's saying, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Vishamaye Bhavambudo. He says, Oh my dear Lord Krishna, son of Nanda Maharaj, somehow or other I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death, and I do not know how to get out of this ocean. So therefore, please pick me up and fix me as an atom of dust, or as a soul surrendered to your lotus feet. Now that's not the statements of the Supreme Lord, that's the statements of a devotee. In this case, we also say that Mahaprabhu not only shows himself as a person, but he also, and as a devotee, but he's showing the mood and showing us the actions and sentiment of the Acharya. He's establishing what is the perfect parameters of devotional service, and therefore showing the actions of an Acharya. And he also comes as the Yuga avatar, giving not only the chanting of Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy names, but he's also giving the full development and giving all showing all the rasas all the way up to Madhura Ras. And Mahaprabhu has his internal reasons for appearing, which will be shown later in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is to know the glories of Srimati Radharani's love, because he wants to experience that, and he can't do so unless he takes her position. So he wants to know the glories of Radharani's love. He wants to know those wonderful qualities in himself that only she can actually experience and perceive fully. And he wants to know the happiness she feels, because it's greater than his own. But that's the internal reasons. So ontologically, what was it? Ontologically, all this is being developed. You'll know that although Mahaprabhu is speaking as if he's an ordinary person, or not an ordinary person, but speaking as he's not the Lord, but he's speaking as a devotee, then you can understand what is happening, why he's speaking in that way, why he's presenting himself that way. And if he is Krishna internally, then the Chaitanya Charitamrita is giving everything. Here, as I said, this is all being developed by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and this is what's called by Guru Maharaj ontology. So I know these initial chapters we're hearing and the explanations sometimes get detailed, and we're establishing the divinity of Krishna and of Mahaprabhu, and that's also happening in the background, and then how Mahaprabhu is behaving, how all his associates are acting. Then the pastimes which will be developed from the 13th chapter of the Adi-lila, and we have some understanding of why the description of Chaitanya Charitamrita is so deep and so beautiful, that we hear that in his later days, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was only concerned in hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita, the same with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. When we were around Srila Govinda Maharaj, he also, in the morning would sometimes just sit down and begin reading aloud the Bengali of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's just something speaking and hearing. So we are actually, aspiring to be Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and Gaudiya means referring to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's why the Srimad Bhagavatam is developed and goes so deep. It's very, giving the essence of everything. It gives you also the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you really want to understand something about, Gaudiya Vaishnavism, then one should hear or read the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, I know sometimes we're going along and we're hearing, well, this is very analytical, but there's a reason why it's like that. And just like we're considering Bhagavad Gita, someone may consider Bhagavad Gita to be, we know that it's Krishna Katha. It's because it's Krishna Katha. It's spoken. It's not only Krishna Katha. It's spoken by Krishna. So we may consider that Bhagavad Gita is introductory because it's giving us a basis for some understanding. Now, to many people who are unfamiliar with, Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita is not so introductory for them because many people will find even Bhagavad Gita to be, beyond their understanding. So, I know things in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, as we see, they can be very analytical, but as one hears and one goes on in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, then one will find that understanding, one develops one's own understanding and own ability to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, everything. It's all cited in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Mahaprabhu giving you some deeper understanding of the scriptures. I believe in the introduction, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he says that the Chaitanya Charitamrita in particular, Mahaprabhu and his actions, it percolates the meaning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, percolates the meaning of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, I'm not a coffee drinker myself, but what does percolation do? When you percolate something? It continues to make it more strong and more. It makes it more evident. And the taste makes it more percolated, makes it more developed. It's continuously percolating. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita is doing that with the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's helping you understand the meaning. So I'm going to finish here. Kishora Swarup Krishna Swayam Avatari Kridakori Ejai Rupe Vishvabhari. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is eternally an adolescent, is the primeval Lord, the source of all incarnations. He expands himself in these 6 categories of forms to establish his supremacy throughout the universe. So, Ejai Rupe Hoy Ananta Vibhed, Ananta Rupe Ek Rup Nahi Kichubhed. And these 6 kinds of forms are innumerable varieties. Although they are many, they are all one. There is no difference between them. The personality of God manifests himself in 6 different features: Prabhav, Vaibhava, empowered incarnations, partial incarnations, childhood, and boyhood. The personality of God is Sri Krishna, whose permanent feature is adolescence, or as a youth, enjoys his transcendental proclivities by performing pastimes in these 6 forms. In these 6 features, there are unlimited divisions of the Lord's forms. The jivas, or living beings, are differentiated parts and parcels of the Lord. They are all diversities of the One, without a second, the Supreme Personality of God. So, again, Prabhav, Vaibhav, empowered incarnations, partial incarnations, childhood and boyhood. Chit Shakti, Swarup Shakti, Antaraganam, Tahara Vaibhavananta, Vaikuntadinam. The Chit Shakti, which is also called Swarup Shakti or Antaranga Shakti, the spiritual energy of the Lord, displays many varied manifestations. It sustains the kingdom of God and its paraphernalia. Maya Shakti Bahiranga Jagat Karan Taharabai Bhava Ananta Brahmandaragan. The external energy called Maya Shakti is the cause of innumerable universes with varied material potencies. Jiva Shakti Tatastyakya Nahijar Anta Mukhya Teen Shakti Tara Bibedananta. The marginal potency which is between these two consists of the numberless living beings. These are the three principal energies which have unlimited categories and subdivisions, which we'll say the internal or antaranga, the spiritual energy of the Lord, Maya Shakti, or Bahiranga Shakti, the external energy, the material energy, and Tatastha Shakti, the living entities, the marginal energy. The marginal energy can go towards the spiritual energy or towards the material energy. A Mata Swarup Gan Aratin Shakti Sabara Ashraya Krishna Krishna Sabar Stiti. These are the principal manifestations and expansions of the personality of Godhead in His three energies. They are all emanations from Sri Krishna, the transcendence. They have their existence in Him. Okay, so I'll read just where this is going here, a few more verses. Jajapi Brahmanda Ganir Purusha Shrai Jay Purushade Sabar Krishna Mola Shrai. Although the three Purushas are the shelter of all the universes, Lord Krishna is the original source of the Purushas. The three Purushas are Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Chirodakshai Vishnu. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Krishna Sarvashrai Parameshwara Krishna Sarvashastrikoi. Thus the personality of God as Sri Krishna is the original primeval Lord, the source of all other expansions. All the revealed scriptures accept Sri Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin. He is the prime cause of all causes. This is the first verse of Brahma Samhita. Esab Siddhanta Tumi Jana Balomate Tabu Purba Pakka Kora Ama Shalaite. You know all the conclusions of the scriptures very well. You create these logical arguments just to agitate me. So, here, Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, you already know the conclusions of the scriptures very well. You create these logical arguments just to agitate me, just to say that Narayan is the source of Krishna. Say Krishna Avatari Brajendra Kumar Apane Chaitanya Rupe Koila Avatar. That same Lord Krishna, the fountainhead of all incarnations, is known as the son of the king of Braja, Nanda Maharaj. He has descended personally as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That same Lord Krishna, the fountainhead of all incarnations, is known as the son of the king of Braja. He has descended personally as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ateva Chaitanya Gosai Paratattva Sima Tare Kirodashai Kahi Ki Tara Mahima. Okay. So anyway, therefore Lord Chaitanya is the supreme absolute truth. To call him Chirodakshai Vishnu does not add to his glory. Well, we'll talk about this tomorrow, that some persons who refer to Mahaprabhu, talk about him as being one of the incarnations rather as Krishna himself covered with the mood and luster of Srimati Radharani. So all this will be discussed, and you can understand what that subject is about because there is an expression in English which is called, it's actually, I don't remember the exact expression, but it means making an offense by faint praise, by not referring to the full glories of someone.
Is it left-handed?
Huh?
Is it like left-handed compliment?
Well, it's actually diminishing someone's importance, and it's done, by faint praise. It's supposedly you're praising somebody, but actually by diminishing, like saying, if you said something like, the president is the head, the president ultimately can if you just glorify the president by saying, the term generically president, he's the head of the prison system or the federal prison system, but that's not really the main function of the president. So there, anyway. It's like diminishing by faint praise. So to refer to Krishna as an incarnation is to refer to him as an incarnation. That's really faint praise in the sense that we understand when the Godhead or the fountainhead descends, then all the incarnations are present within him. So there may be some truth in that statement that he can be identified as Vamana, or he can be identified as Chirodakshai Vishnu, but in the sense that he's the source of all them, but that's not his real identity. Anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Yes.
All right, done about everybody out there.
Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Okay. Stopped it? Okay.